Good day to you. Today I want to bring a discussion to you on the wheel of life, the 8 sections that concern us. 1. Our business and our career. Career is the way we think our business will progress. That may be your profession, the work you do, and its progression, because man attaches worth and value to work. Man attaches success and significance to work. Unfortunately, man attaches identity and belonging also to the world, to the work he is doing. This is unfortunate because our belonging and identity is settled from our origin, and our worth cannot come from the work we do, and our significance cannot come from the work we do. But we are going to look at briefly about our work and our career and our finances. The third part is our health. Fourth part is our relationships, family, friends and colleagues. Then I want to start with romance. What does that mean for us? Personal growth, fun, recreation and physical environment all are relevant to successful human living. But I want to start at the point of romance. So here are some definitions of what romance is about: the beauty of life. If you are just biological and think of survival of the fittest and struggle for existence, you might even think romance is not necessary, which would be an unfortunate assumption. With romance is the thing of hedonism. Now often hedonism is thought, some people think it is Epicureanism, eat, drink and be merry for tomorrow we die. But hedonism is not that. It's the best enjoyment of life, best design for life. So a very wise man, Solomon, had been strayed much. He ended up by saying the chief design for human life is to enjoy God and serve man. Chief design for human life is to enjoy God and serve man. That's the conclusion he came to. So that nothing is better for a man than he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. That is what romance is, that you are enjoying good in your labor. You will understand that definition is not about business success, it's not about finance, it's some other success, which we usually don't credit much, don't think much, but it's the thing that ticks in us. Then the opposite of that would be, the eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. All things are full of labor, and no end, no satisfaction, no contentment. So here are 7 stations in life. The station of I shall not want. Now these stations are situations, dispositions, inclinations, as well as physical circumstances. Station of life, I shall not want. That is to say, you are no more in need. Also, you are no more craving for what you don't have. So that's a good place to be in. Secondly, you are lying down in green pastures. So that is about, lying down means a rested state, and green pastures is wherever you look, it's healthy, it's prosperous. That's what lying. So it's a lying down, restfully waiting in green pastures where every prospect pleases. Third station of life is, he leads me besides quiet waters. That is a leading position where you have to be led from this success, so to say, to the next success. And in those days, waters were the fountain of life, and it was a resource that was very precious. Now this is in the context of the Middle East. So the waters were those opportunities of success, opportunities to do better than what you are. If that is to happen, you will have to meet with the next opportunity that will make you great. So here are the stations that are going to answer to these 8 aspects: business and career, finances, health, relationships, romance, personal growth, fun and recreation, physical environment. So I have already done this, the situation of placement of I shall not want. Then that means no craving, it is enough. Second one is where you are lying down in green pastures. It's prosperous around me. I'm rested in it. I'm no more fighting, struggling for existence. I'm no more competing to chop others off. Third one is you're being led into, besides more opportunities, which is given here as good waters, or which is a resource, you are led from resource to resource. In that context of that time, the resource, these resources would be the ones that bring you more wealth or betterment in life. Then the fourth state is restoration of my soul. That comes in when you have a handicap or when you have a drop off, when something goes wrong. Then you are given an opportunity to restore my soul. So life is not only about physical well-being. You have a soul, a non-material part, which of course evolutionists may deny, but I am speaking on the context of man has a non-material part which needs to be looked after. And then when you have a drop down, that's where you come to. The non-material part is still there to be restored. Even before your material thing is restored, the non-material, the soul, will be restored. So it's a place of, in your life journey, you will go through place of restoration. Assumption is it was a dip. So you had it enough. You had enough. You were resting in green pastures. You were being led, lead me into better waters, better opportunities. That was there. Now you have got into a situation that you need restoration. Your soul needs restoration. So at that time, you find your good shepherd's hand comes and picks you up, because you need restoration, even when you don't ask him. Even when you deny his existence, he still restores. There's a hand that comes when you're falling, and that hand picks you up. That's restoration. Next time you have another fall, that hand still comes. Even if you have nothing to do with him, even if you are nasty to the good shepherd, even if you deny his existence, his hand comes and picks you up. So that is restoration. Then next position in life is guiding me in paths of righteousness. So it's guided. That is to say, there is our conscience, of course. There is our spirit besides the soul that understands guidance, that receives guidance. Now, guidance has the context of something or someone who knows better than ourselves. That's my definition of guidance. Something or someone who knows better than myself. So that person guides me in the path of righteousness. So we need paths of righteousness. We had green pastures, we had nice water resources. Now we are being told we have a safe place for restoration of the soul. You need to check out whether these things are there with you. So if you have dropped down, a sudden come down in life, do you have a safe place for restoration? Do you have colleagues who are willing for that? That's why personal relationships are essential. Do you have family and friends who can be your resource people for your recovery? Yes. He guides me in the paths of, then comes, these are the 4 good things. Then there are some other things that we will come across. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. So that is a different situation, quite a drastic cessation of life as it was, like a virus or a COVID or a deadly disease, or a deadly entrapment in gambling or heroin, the kind of things that kills part of you, not physically I mean, kills your life, a divorce, a very harmful, hurtful rupture, which is like a valley of the shadow of death, or a Judas betraying you, which is what Good Friday was about, and then in it you encounter evil. So when you are in the life journey, you can't deny evil. Valley of the shadow of death is a place where you encounter evil. You have to be ready for that day. Then that is the fifth station in life. The sixth station in life is the equipment we have. We have a rod and a staff. They comfort us. So rod is the authority, old word is scepter, staff is the comfort. So our life is in this ladder between scepter and staff. And step by step, that's how a parent leads the children. Scepter of authority, of course, the authority of love, and a staff of provision. These two together build up the family. These two together build up your life. So you need to check out how is your scepter of authority, how is your staff of provision. Are they secure? So that will come under your finances, your business and career situation, and that resting place and that safe place, your family and friends and colleagues for recovery, restoration. This is how the wheel of life application, checking out each section, whether they are secure in you. Little more about romance. Romance looks as if it's the ability to create indulgent moments that are good for you. Yourself with whatever feels good for you. So there are people who are immoral and they feel okay about it. They are quite satisfied with their immorality. There are people who are immoral and they are dissatisfied. Their heart looks for a good shepherd to guide them into paths of righteousness. You must remember that. There is a cry in the inside of every man for guidance, of listening to a higher voice. That's where the good shepherd comes in. Guidance is when we don't know what to do. Guidance is when our foot is trying to slip, get us back on track, even slap us back to track. Guidance of righteousness, the standards that are that have not come from man, the standards that have come from a moral progenitor who has said this is right and this is wrong. For instance, marriage is for lifelong. Now in this modern society, people will deny this, decry and work against it even. Marriage is for lifelong. Man is man and woman is woman. Marriage is between man and woman. And it's for faithfulness for lifelong. You rupture that, there is an incurable dent in your character. Yes. So don't try it. It's best to protect what you have. So romance is make it good for yourself, and that's a beauty side of life. So when you say romance, the imagination kicks in, the kinesthetic, acoustic, visual kicks in, and it has a side which it's not mathematical, just to get it right. So physically, how you treat yourself, then feelings of love and appreciation, receiving. So there's a good balance of how you have received life. So if you did not receive love from parents, there's a fracture there. Those are the foundations that have affected you. Your life in the mother's womb would have affected you. Then life as you receive from father affects you. Life as you receive from mother affects you. Even the paternal line and the maternal lines of inheritance, heredity, have a play even on our genome, which is now considered epigenetics. What what you receive in the mother's womb, which is considered epigenetics now, yes. So you're attending on all those sources of influences that have gone in your life. Feelings of love and appreciation, deep satisfaction and love for who you are, that comes from the identity and belonging you receive from mom and dad, who you are. And of course, if you are trusting the Good Shepherd, you will define your life as belonging to him, coming from him. So that will be a great buttress, who you are right now. Whether they come from your intimate partner or yourself, or from the Good Shepherd, who gives you a sense of who you are. When you know who you are, you will relate with confidence and you will initiate love. When you don't know who you are, you are waiting to receive, and you can become exploited, you can be abused, you can become a victim, because you don't know who you are and you don't know to initiate love, and you automatically you come to the receiving end of love. So even in a husband-wife relationship, both initiate love, commence to each other. It is an equal relationship. Love and romance with your loved one, quality time, quality conversation, getting the emotional and physical connection that you need, meeting your love language fully. All this goes on to making romance. So I stopped at the point in placements of life. I'll redo this. Situation of I shall not want. 2, placement of green pastures, and you are rested and lying down. No struggle, no competition, no survival for existence. 3, you are being led into the better opportunities. I'm suggesting to you, if there's a Good Shepherd in your life, that would be a wonderful help and enhancement, to be led into the next best opportunity that is there in your life. That is also a necessary experience. The 4th station in life is a place of restoration for your soul. So I have to insist that the material side of life is not the only side of life. There's a restoration, place of restoration. That I explained to you. When you had a dip, there's a hand that picks you up. Whether you ask or not, the Good Shepherd picks you up. If you begin to recognize this, it would be good. He can do it with your volition, with your cooperation. Anyway, he will do that. So recognize the dips you have had and check out, am I fully restored? Are there hurts and injuries, scars and wounds, abrasions, contusions, lacerations, I'm using medical language, even incisions, Judas actions in the lives of people? They need restoration, a safe place for restoration. So in your, we did this in your wheel of life, in the 8 stations of life, 8 sections of life, you need a place for recuperation and recovery. You need to already have it in your relationships, yes. Because you can't find them when you get into trouble here. In trouble, generally people depart from you, yes. When you become smelly, no one wants to stay with you. When you are famous and aromatic, many people like to say, I know you, yeah, I know him. So this is about restoration. Then this very important placement in life, that is the 4th one, the guidance into paths of righteousness. Guidance into paths of righteousness. So the guidance and the paths of righteousness inviolate. And that guidance will be quite contrary to your conscience at times. Because your conscience, there's a very nice thing, the saying, that is, your conscience can dictate to you what you like here. Your conscience can get, modulated, modified into agreeing with you when you have done it wrong. Conscience is a good thing, but it can get modified, it can get influenced to do the thing you want to do. Yeah, that's why you need a guidance in paths of righteousness. Then the 5th one we did was the valley of the shadow of death, where you encounter evil. So evil is a reality of life. You can't dodge it. It will come at you in some way. It may be political evil, it may be sociological evil, it may be financial evil. It will come at you. Yeah. So it may be the evil of fake science, that is rampant nowadays. I despair almost. I'm very disheartened how faith science has taken over the lives of the people, because people made God out of science. So much is dependent on science. And when science goes fake, so many things go fake. That's where it is. The 70-year-old professors are not heard, their publications are not admitted, the medical journals are prejudiced in one direction only, a differing view is not entertained. That's where science has gone. This is why when evil gets systematized, you would have heard this language, but this little passage, this is called Psalm 23. This little passage has all these things in one place. That's why this is tremendous wisdom, unusual wisdom. Yes, so this is about evil. And then to tackle that, you have a rod and you have a staff. That is the authority in your life. So if you are married, the marital authority, what you build together, the authority. Marriage has authority of love. You can't crook it. It can't become crooked. And then you have the staff of provision and comfort, consideration, I might even say conciliation and consensus, and between that the steps for a family to grow. Never give up on these two things: authority and consideration. Authority and consideration. Your children must hear it, you each other must hear it. Authority and consideration. This applies even for the work field. The steps of life are between these two inviolate facts or equipment. Then we come to the sixth station in life. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So enemies. So whether you are extremely good, you will have enemies. People at certain stages of life, your life career, your walk, those who are determined to scuttle you, those who are determined to stop you for whatever reason. So enemies are a fact of life. You know what Good Friday is, that one perfect human life, how many enemies came at him, and that good life made so many people uncomfortable. They said, we have to do him to death. And in the process, not only political leaders, religious leaders were the ones who started the process, isn't it? So that's it. So this is about the enemies, but the provision is this: in the present, you will always have them. So but now I'm at the seventh station, is how you deal with your enemies. We have a resounding word: Father, forgive them for what they don't know what they do. You don't return offense for offense. And you have to have this talk is not mainly about handling enemies. This talk is about the 8 stations of life and the 8 parts in the wheel of life. So this is about enemies. Then we will do some other sessions about enmity and anger and things like that. 8th station of life is the table. What does it say? You prepare a table before me. Yes, this table is your life play. In this table will be your life relationships. At a certain stage, you may be second in command or even more junior. At a certain stage, you might be at the head of the table in your station of life now. So this table has the players in your life. Be certain who the players in your life are. Don't shift their chairs. People who walk to great heights know their table of life. That involves people in relational strength. 2, it involves your provision mandate. It will involve your management mandate also. So know your table of life. Who belongs in this table? Don't ask any and everybody to come there. Preserve your table of life and your relationships, and in it will be found the provision measure that you have been ordained for, designed for. It may be your table of life has that number and you can provide only for 4. It may be that your table of life is such that you are the chairman of a company that provides livelihood for 1,000 people. It depends on this table of life that has been given to you, but understand the table of life. So this is about the 7th station was the enemies. 8th station of life was the table of life. And here I come to the 2 most crucial parts. You have anointed my head with oil, and my cup overflows. So here the cup of life is right in the bottom of your life, right in the, what I mean by bottom, in the depth of your life. There is a cup of life that can overflow. All else flows from that. I started on the green surface. You remember? Green surface. You are lying down in green surface. And then you are being led into resources of good water. In the ancient world, water was money, water was wealth, water was prosperity, water was even political importance. That's what the ancient world was like. Who held the water? Who controlled the water? Controlled the area. Yeah. So that's about, that's where we began. Now we looked at the place of restoration, we looked at guidance and paths of righteousness, and then we looked at the moments or valley of the shadow of death that really, that's right, the dark night of the soul experience that you may have to go through, hopefully not every day in life, hopefully not even every year, but those marked seasons out of which comes a kind of resurrection. A new thing is born in the dark night of the soul. Consider it like that. Why am I going through this terrible trouble? Because there is a huge benefit that's going to come out. That's the valley of the shadow of death. Then we looked at the equipment we have. The equipment, the evil, you remember evil we have to deal with. Then the equipment we have, the authority and the consideration or comfort. Families go like this, workplaces go like this, step by step, a saddle between or anchored between scepter and staff. Scepter speaks of kingship, staff speaks of shepherdliness. Nations need it. Politics need it, companies need it, economics need it, your personal life and family also need the 2 of this. So here I am at then we came to the table. You remember we came to the table, I explained the table to you. Your relational group which has provision for you and your company, you and your finances, you and your business and career. Relational table, don't lose your friend. In fact, the proverb says, don't lose your father's friends also. Yes, don't lose your father's friends. So this table has people and provision. Don't put provision first. People are sources of provision or avenues for provision. Yeah. Then we have come to the crux of the matter. Now, he anoints my head with oil and he fills my cup to overflowing. So right at the depth of your life is a cup of intimacy, romance, relationship that has to be filled up. That is coexistence. You live life from this coexistence. I am telling you as a man of science, I have told this to you before. I became first in the island in the advanced level examination sitting from St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. Botany, zoo, chemistry and physics were my, And then in the Colombo Medical Faculty, I was batched up in every examination. But this is what I have to say. Life begins. Life, a wellspring, may I use that term, is this cup of deep, deep relationship. And if you keep the Good Shepherd there, it will be a cup that will always overflow, not just enough, it will be more than enough. And it is from this that you get this idea of anoint my head with oil. That is to say, it's like a crown of authority on everything you do. That comes from a cup of well-being and blessing deep, deep inside you. That comes from dad and mom, certainly. That also comes from the training you have gone through, but above all, there's a good shepherd that can work with you to make your cup bigger, out of which the portion of life comes. I think I have done enough. Yes, these are the stations of life I want to discuss with you. If you do that with a good shepherd, then you have extra resource that guides you and keeps you. Thank you for listening.